Hello, everyone. Welcome to this panel discussion on MarTech Day. The theme for this discussion is Rise of Autonomous AI Agents in the MarTech Stack. Today, I am joined by some esteemed speakers. First among them is Prasad Pimple, EVP and Head Digital Business Unit at Kotak Life. Next up, we have Shubham Choudhary, SVP and Business Head of Growth at PolicyBazaar.com. Last but not the least, we have Hitharth Saini, Head of Marketing at Freo. With that, I open the discussion. But before we get into the heavy conversation about MarTech stacks and AI agents, let me put a simple question to all of you, and we can begin with Prasad for this one. So, Prasad, how are you currently using AI agent in your MarTech stack?
So there are various things because when we talk about the AI agents in the MarTech stack, the AI is not new to MarTech. When we talk about AI, we always had multiple automations into it. Now the only thing which has got changed is how much agentic can we make that entire AI when we are utilizing the MarTech stack. Now, if you really ask me, not each and everything we are doing agentic today. AI automation is getting used, but not everything is agentic. We have not given complete control to the AI in terms of deciding everything. But a lot of changes have happened. Now, just to give you a couple of examples, if I talk about the push campaigns, they were always automated, correct? We had given that much control to the tool that if customer has done a particular action, let's assume I have scheduled an emailer campaign to the customer. If customer has responded to the communication, he goes out of the further communications. If customer has not responded to the communication, a WhatsApp communication can go to the customer. That automation always existed. Now what we have added as a layer to it is what kind of subject line is suitable to a type of customers. So we have created few agents which can help me find out the cohort of the customer, and for that particular cohort, what kind of subject line can work. So just to give an example, somebody who is from the life insurance perspective, because it's a slightly difficult business when it comes to managing the entire funnel end to end. It has a long discovery phase, long consideration phase, and a sizable purchase journey for customer to complete. There, when we refer to a particular customer who is young, vis-a-vis particular customer who is mid-age, vis-a-vis particular customer who is about to retire, what we are seeing that the kind of subject lines they respond to are quite different because the way they think about overall their financial aspects of life, the way they purchase products, their responses normally vary as well as their choice of the subject lines. So that kind of automation, what we have initiated now as a part of our push campaign automation. When it comes to other campaigns which are I would say programmatic campaigns or even the normal bidding campaigns on the Google or Meta platform, they were always with the help of AI and machine learning. That has not changed over a period of time. The only difference is now we have given more and more control to these platforms. Even some of the bidding decisions what we make today, we have given a lot of control to the platform to decide on its own where to optimize, how to optimize. We only look at our TCPA kind of a thing, that it is not going beyond control. So from execution perspective, it has already moved more towards agentic AI. But from strategy perspective, we still hold at the human level. We allow humans to take those decisions when it comes to strategy, but execution is more or less automated there. So from that particular perspective, it's now everywhere. Content creation, it's already reached a level across most of the brands. They are using it. We also have it. We create the content, but we are not going to a level where it will become too personalized, because personalization helps only when we have something to differentiate. If there is nothing much to differentiate, very deep hyper personalization might not help. We have not reached that level or not yet decided to go into that level. But These are the three things where our MarTech stack has already gone into a significant amount of AI.
Fantastic. It's very interesting to see how you've let some AI automation tools do the execution bit for you. And I'll come to Shubham now. So, Shubham, you also sit in a regulated category. Does that bring up some category challenges of its own? How are you using AI agents in your MarTech stack, considering the category constraints?
Yeah, thanks, Vishesh, and very warm welcome to everybody else on the panel. So I think, like Prasad rightly said, of course, life insurance and even general insurance for that matter, I think it comes with its own, regulations, its own trickiness when it comes to selling a particular product, right? So I'll just sort of extend this example that Prasad gave in terms of execution of these campaigns. Of course, there's a lot of content generation where we use AI. There's a lot of segmentation where we use AI. Today, we have platforms where the segmentation is completely AI enabled. We could simply make a voice note of, hey, send a campaign to the last 3 month active users who have looked for this particular plan, and like the platform itself will sort of generate that campaign for us, right? Even on images, we are now hyper personalized, which means that we could use AI to create those images which are specifically targeting a person with their own details, right? And of course, gives us a lot of uptake on CTRs, engagement numbers, and everything. But like you rightly mentioned, Vishesh, it comes with its own challenges, particularly with insurance. That because of the regulations, there are a lot of things which we're not supposed to talk about, which is not right for us to say. There are promises that can't be made. There are offers that we can't talk about, which we shouldn't talk about in insurance, right? And because of those regulations, we have to constantly put guardrails on the AI. So the idea is not to not use AI, or let's say, put checks on the content generation, because that sort of kills the purpose of it, I believe. But with the stricter bots, putting the right guardrails, I think that's the one thing which our team takes very seriously. And QA processes are, of course, very, very heavy. So we ensure that whatever bots are going in place, whatever AI chatbots are there exposed to the customer, there's enough heavy lifting happening on the back end, in the development, in the guardrail structure, and the team does enough QA, edge case testing, all of it, to make sure that there's no wrong experience exposed to the customers, right? So that's part one of it. And of course, with high powers, I think comes high responsibility, right? So you have to make sure that whichever escalations, if at all any, come due to things like these, you do use AI to even structure that, right? We have an internal sort of like a Jira management of sorts, you could say, where in the escalations are also prioritized and categorized using AI tools to make sure that the right ones, the highest red flag ones, get noticed and worked upon immediately. So I think that's what my response would be.
Very interesting. That's a very apt way of putting it, that with great power also comes great responsibility. And in BFSI, governance is the holy grail of AI implementation. Uh, Coming to Hitarth now, are there, Hitarth, tell me, with AI agents in the MarTech stack, what's the biggest difference you've noticed in your daily workflows?
Sure. Thanks, Vishesh. And great to also hear thoughts from Prasad and Shubham and completely resonate. To jump to the point that you asked, Vishesh, I think life has really changed a lot in the last 2 years. When we started with the hype at that, oh, AI is coming, it was very superficial execution that was happening at that point of time, right? But today, if you look at it, the teams have all been kind of like powered with all paid tools, and they have embraced it to a certain level that a large portion of problem solving and inputs that are going is actually happening hand in hand. It's not the automation that is actually creating the difference. It's basically the embracement of this AI as a thing to the team, because they give the right context. They tell that, okay, this is an output that's probably not acceptable, or here's the context that's different, you are not taking it in that way. And I think what we have seen is that AI is really good in optimization. It's really good in data analytics, and that's something that we have embraced to our core. And to give you a quick example, Freo as a brand has multiple products. We help consumers with credit cards, with credit lines, loans, UPI, insurance, and some of the other financial products. Now, one of the big problems is that somebody whosoever comes to the app and the ecosystem comes with a context, and of course there is a business objective of cross sell, right? So that's where the marketer is. has to balance the experience and the business objectives and the prioritization. So this was the problem statement with which we started. We started feeding a lot of input points and leading indicators that this is what probably the app, the consumer is coming to the app for, or this is the kind of profile. Is it the right fitment right now? Should we even pitch for another product at this moment or not? Right. And of course, we failed multiple times before we reached to a certain point of success. But now what has happened is it is able to predict to a certain level that, oh, this seems to be the right way of going ahead with this particular segment. And this is, I think, one of the biggest wins. If we see that there is a certain approval rate that's suddenly dipped in the funnel for some reason or the other, rather than going to the data analytics team and asking them to deep dive into raw data, today my team and I, we are directly running Python code on AI. It enables directly, goes to the backend system, tells, oh, this looks like this is the rejection region that suddenly spiked in the last few days. And then we will write another query, say that, okay, what's changed in the top of the funnel? What are you feeding to the system? And it's able to correlate these two very, very easily, very beautifully. Of course, it requires some handholding even now. I won't say that it's 100% autonomous, but it's definitely made our life easier to do. Earlier, we had to depend on somebody else and their expertise. Probably this is something that I, as a marketer, appreciate the most. Of course, apart from that, the creative side of things have also gone really well. What we were creating a couple of years ago versus what we create today. Today, I think a lot of other brands are also embracing that an AI video will look like an AI video. Let's just focus on the experience of that AI video. So that's probably a shift in the thought process and approach that we have observed of late.
Very interesting to see how AI is giving marketeers, intelligence, real-time intelligence, and they're cutting down on some of the repetitive tasks. That's interesting to see. But then there is also while there is marketers are leveraging AI, there are also consumers who are leveraging AI, right? And in fact, India is one of the biggest markets for some of the LLMs right now. Now, given that, and I'll come to Prasad for this, what happens when AI agents control discovery and purchase journeys? What does that mean for a marketer?
Yeah. So, see, as I mentioned, that life insurance is not a product or a category where in the morning I'll think about it and suddenly jump into it to purchase. It has a long discovery phase into it, and hence the impact is significantly more. Now, traditionally, if I talk about maybe 10 years back, this entire discovery was happening with the help of the field sales force, the agents, the relationship managers. They were basically helping customers to discover the need for this particular product. The last 10-15 years, I would say that discovery shifted also towards the digital tools like website and all those apps and everything came into the picture. And the search engines, I think they became really, really important. And for that particular matter, we know that the Google anyway search as a search engine takes care of the almost 90-95% of the share. Everything boils down to having a discovery via a Google search page. And that's where the entire focus of the marketing was and is still today. But when it comes to all these LLMs, including Gemini or ChatGPT or any other tool we could talk about, the customer adoption is significantly higher. That's one part. So the searches which were happening earlier only on one single platform, and you could focus on that platform to influence your ranking and all those things. Now it has shifted to other platforms as well. So as a marketer, you need to move where customers are moving. Now more of AI optimization or the answer engine optimization or the solution engine optimization, whatever we call it as, has started happening at the marketeer's end. Now, second thing which has happened is as the search engine itself has started giving the summary with the help of AI, the number of clicks, which earlier the whole intention of doing a ranking or the listing was to get clicks and via those clicks getting a traffic to the website. So when we talk about this entire search engine behavior change, where majority of the customers or consumers are receiving now the AI-based summary as a first answer, they did not click anywhere. The whole objective of the brand or the marketeer was to list, because with better ranking you get better click rates, and with better click rates you get more traffic to your website, and more traffic gives you opportunity to move customer down the funnel and finally make him a lead for your product. Now that entire journey has got, I would say, getting collapsed because of the multiple factors coming into it. It's not as linear as earlier, which is getting a rank, getting a click, getting a traffic, then you use CRO, click rate optimization on your website to ensure a lead. That path is not linear. Now with uh, zero clicks coming in on your sub page, the more and more focus is now on the trust what your content is building when it is getting listed on a LLM, either on a sub page or even on a LLM app. Now that's where the entire shift which is happening as a digital marketing team, we are currently thinking more about how do I get more visibility to the customers. See, earlier we all remember there was a classic tussle between a brand campaign versus a performance campaign. Right? We all used to say that brand marketing is more towards building trust and consideration for the brand, whereas performance is all about finally getting the results and business out of it. That gap, I believe, is collapsing now with the advent of this tools, LLM tools. It is equally becoming important to have visibility on LLMs when somebody is searching for a particular solution. Am I getting the brand mentions? Am I getting the brand referral links as a part of the LLM? That particular part has also become equally important. And the last thing is the direct attribution of entire digital marketing business. That has changed a bit right now. It has not completely changed, but I think next couple of years, that particular point will also completely change in terms of overall marketing ecosystem. As far as the business impact is concerned, both positive and negative business impact is possible. Currently, we are seeing significantly lower traffic coming from the long tail keywords, which we earlier used to get on our blog pages. That has significantly reduced. The leads what we are getting from those blog pages and everything has also significantly reduced. But at the same time, what has started improving is the referral traffic. The whatever is coming via LLMs now as a referral traffic, that is showing more improvement. And the good part is, as compared to blogs, the percentage of customers who are converting into a lead vis-a-vis percentage of customers who are converting from a referral traffic coming from an LLM to a lead, that is significantly better. So both negative aspects and positive aspects today, it is not completely panned out yet, but we are keeping our fingers crossed that we will evolve along with the customers in this entire journey which is currently happening, or the entire shift which is currently happening.
Very interesting to see how a single platform or a bunch of platforms can upend the whole system, and all marketeers and everyone else can do is cross their fingers and just simply evolve. Having said that, Shubham, I'll come to you now. When a lot of customers start searching on AI and that becomes the norm in the world of AI-led discovery, to what extent will a marketeer be able to control visibility?
Fair question, I think, Vishesh. And I would say that yeah, even when SEO was primarily the traffic source for organic leads, and even before that, like the early days of internet, when of course it was the word of mouth. I think the one thing that hasn't changed, that has stayed consistent throughout, is to maintain a good product experience, right? Because as long as you've got the right people talking about you, as long as you've got the right product experience, I think everything else follows. So I think what I'm trying to say is that end of the day, all of these AI apps, at least today's structure, and I'm not talking what could be the evolution maybe 2 3 years down the line from here, what is happening is that end of the day, these are all apps that are taking their data from the World Wide Web, right? The all sources which are available out there, every single word that's being spoken about you, your brand, your products, and of course, because end of the day, these are all LLMs. The data sources are huge. It's not just, let's say, content which is posted on other websites or your own websites, but also forums and the plethora of sources that could specifically talk about you, right? So I think the idea is very simple, that you keep your content game on, just like you did for SEO. You focus a little more on getting the right testimonials, getting your customers to talk about you, be a little more vocal on social media, and I think all of that sort of rightly feeds back into these apps. So I think that's the philosophically the right way of looking at it. And as long as the negative noise around your products, around the negative feedback around your products, if you're able to maintain those escalations, if you're able to give even the negative feedback customers, if you're able to give them the right experience afterwards, right? If you're able to resolve those queries timely, I think it does turn into the right experience, the positive feedback at times, and all of that will feed back into it becoming your traffic from these AI app sources as well. So I think fundamentally that's how I would look at it.
Fantastic. So sticking to the basics is the way to go about it. Understood. Now I'll come to Hitharth. Hitharth, when a lot of people start searching on these LLMs, if you look at Gen Z or some of the other generations that are now coming up, they're already searching very heavily on these LLMs. When that becomes the norm, how are you planning to adapt your content and marketing strategy for AI-driven discovery?
Sure, Vishesh. Well, this is actually a real problem that we are trying to solve today because for the last 10 years, when we've been creating products, that was for a certain segment of users, and now those segment of users have grown with us, and the new set of segment of users are now trying to change and adapt in the ecosystem. So, of course, the brand has to now cater to a different persona, and it also has to cater to the previous legacy that it has. So this is becoming kind of like a good challenge to solve. And what we've been trying to do is see the content, probably, and maybe let me call it out as well. The way a millennial resonates with a certain kind of content versus that to which a Gen Z or another segment does, right? It's of course the reason why we have bucketed them into different segments is because their behavior is very different. They don't appreciate the jokes that we would do, and probably vice versa as well, right? And this would also require marketers to either have a few young folks on their team for internal insights that, okay, should we do this or not? But probably that's not the way to scale the business going forward, right? Today, it, probably once you have given right context to AI, it is able to tell that, okay, here's what is the difference or the nuance that a certain segment has missed versus what certain other segment would appreciate. And this is something that is very difficult for personally for me as a millennial to appreciate Gen Z jokes. But this is something that I am also learning, and this is how probably a lot of content that is being generated today. There are two different segment of content that's being generated. They are being posted into various different channels. Even the way and the timing at which it is going ahead and getting published, they are different. So there is a different kind of catering that is happening. A lot of clickbaity content that used to be the norm earlier in the industry, that is now getting a real test, right? Because Gen Zs will cut through that noise right on your face and say that, oh boss, we know that this gimmick, this might not work,
Yeah.
right? So that's where the brands have to go back to the drawing board, and this is where I think AI is genuinely helping us a lot to recreate, republish, rework on the existing set of content, existing approaches, existing angles that we have used and used very well in the past. Right? It's very good in repackaging that with a good context. Right? If of course all of this with the caveat that you have given the right prompt and the right understanding, and it goes through multiple levels of check before it's finally published. The good part is that by the time you have reached version 5, version 6 would be a smooth sailing for that particular learning, right? So this is something that we have been doing. A lot of industry peers earlier, and I think there are respected folks from the industry, from insurance industry already. Insurance has heavily relied on good content solving answering problem statement, especially because there's a emotion that is led over there. It's a fear-based marketing that's worked in the past. Now, how does this norm change, right? Every single piece of article can now be rewritten in a positive angle, with a positive positioning for a different segment. This is doing at scale, is genuinely time taking and effort worthy task. But we have already done that last year by recreating a whole property called learn.freo.money, wherein consumers can just quickly come, and probably I'll suggest you guys can also go and check. And a large portion of that is led by AI driven content. After good research of what users were searching on Reddit, is that question even relevant to me or not? What are you trying to answer on your blog, or on just because you want to get some good ranking done on your SEO? Are you answering the right questions or not? Of course, this was the right process even earlier. I think only the framing and the placement has changed now. The tenets still remain the same, but this is where we are trying to work on it.
Fantastic. So there's a reevaluation of content that needs to happen. Every marketer needs to look at what sort of content they had published earlier and how are they doing now, what are the current insights, and does their content match with the current expectations of customers. Very interesting. I think that's a great place to end this conversation. Thank you, Hitarth, Shubham, and Prasad for sharing your thoughts here. It's been great chatting with you about AI agents and how marketeers can enhance visibility in the world of AI led discovery. And for watching more such episodes, stay tuned